Welcome back. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner MetaZone and Roby, and today we're going to be talking about dynamic NFTs thanks to good old Chainlink.
Yeah, dynamic NFTs, which is, I guess, the new word of the month. Well, it's nothing new to us, but
No, definitely not.
Chainlink's, I guess, on like a marketing campaign or Chainlink affiliates, NFT slash data nerds.
Yeah.
They're coming up with a whole new initiative, I guess, to get people to think about what's next for NFTs, right?
Yeah,
So,
and we called these dynamic NFTs functional NFTs,
and we weren't alone in that, right?
revenue generating NFTs,
Deployable
NFTs, like all these
utility.
utility NFTs. I think that was the biggest one.
So there's been a bunch of like attempts to, I guess, paint the picture of what's next, right? And everybody's using. We're about to go through a thread here, but like the first thing you say is NFTs are more than just images.
Images, yeah.
Because like looking back, like is that really what everybody was so crazy about? It's just like we made ownable pictures and stuff like that. No, it's just that was like the most easy to understand use case, and like it was everybody was gravitated towards it because it's just very visual stimulating.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, we've already gone through that boom and bust cycle. So what's next, dude?
Well, what's next seems to be dynamic NFTs.
Yeah.
And so dynamic NFTs, I think, now have a very specific definition, and they're tied to Chainlink.
Yeah.
Or any Oracle, I guess.
Yeah, because there's like there's a purpose to a dynamic NFT, right? And that's like I guess responsiveness to data.
To data.
Metadata, I guess specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. Some trigger event.
Yeah.
So let's go through this thread, and it's not very long, actually. It's a couple of tweets, but it basically TLDRs Chainlink's blog post from April.
Yeah, so which is there's like I said, I think that article is like Chainlink's declaratory statement, like this is what they're going to facilitate in the NFT space, like right, just like
as they should. I mean, this is what they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we were talking about how Chainlink was the first mover in this bull market in 2018.
The last cycle?
In the last cycle.
Yeah.
And so it was the first one to go pop off. And then DeFi followed. And then it crashed. And then NFTs exploded. Then Metaverse.
Yeah.
For like 2 months. Yeah. And then now we're here in like complete despair.
And then now we're seeing some Chainlink happenings, right? So maybe this is a good sign. The very, 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 very potential beginnings of like a market resurgence. It's going to start maybe with, if Chainlink is providing such a valuable technical solution as what people in this thread are saying, then those are the types of innovations that spark, entire sectors, entire new markets and industries, use cases, manias at the end of the day. So, I guess that's what we're here to. Yeah,
and this is just leveling up the static JPEGs into more dynamic NFTs. So here we go. NFTs can be more than just static JPEGs. Dynamic NFTs provide a canvas for real-world utility. A few dynamic NFT use cases. We have a car as an NFT where as it gets sold or it gets updates or any records changes here, they get recorded on the metadata of the NFT itself.
Interesting.
So whenever you buy a used car, you check out the metadata of the NFT itself, and then you can see everything that's done to it.
So somebody made a wise comment just off of this image alone. So basically, it's just Carfax.
Carfax, on metadata,
So like when we were talking, so what's the actual value in this? Like, why do we need to like replicate, records that are already, established industries that facilitate the same thing?
Well, because you have to trust Carfax. That's why.
Yeah. So really, it's understanding the base, I guess, value proposition of blockchain tech in the first place, right? It's the same thing as like why is a transaction validated on the Bitcoin network any more valuable than some other cryptocurrency or whatnot, right?
But for something like this, there would have to be sort of like an infrastructure update, because whenever you get into a car accident, you're not going to volunteer the fact that your car got into a car accident if you're trying to sell it, right? Eventually.
True.
Right. So this metadata needs to be updated sort of
from external sources.
Yeah, right? From external sources.
Yeah.
And
that's where Chainlink comes in, though, because you can't trust like the individual, I guess, asset owner to be the ones to just
update the metadata,
because they could be bad actors or fraudulent or whatever. So that's Chainlink is going to provide these, I guess, factual data integrations from off chain to on chain, right? Then that's what updates the dynamic side of the NFT, and who knows what that can enable in the future. Right now, we're just trying to establish like that dynamic itself is like bringing off chain record keeping into the NFTs itself, right?
Yeah, so I guess we should talk about what Chainlink does specifically, because
True.
if you don't know what Chainlink does, you don't understand like the context and why this is important.
Okay.
So Chainlink, what they do is they take off-chain data, whatever that may be, a score for a basketball game or football game, and take that data and put it on chain so that it could facilitate some sort of transaction. It could trigger some event on a smart contract or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so seems easy enough, but the problem is that smart contract data can't read off-chain data. And so what happens is Chainlink creates a network of oracles, basically humans, who submit that data, and if that data has some sort of consensus, then that data gets submitted to on-chain, and then the people who have submitted the data get rewarded.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what the Oracle network is.
It becomes leverageable at that point through the smart contracts. Now it is readable once it's on chain, and you can execute all these additional functions or utility use cases for it. And in this case, in the NFT realm, now it becomes a component that the NFTs itself can respond to and adjust and modify and change it entirely into something new, dependent on that data feed from Chainlink itself.
Yeah, in a way where you don't have to trust anybody, right?
Yeah.
And so these oracles submit this data. That data gets leveraged by the smart contract. The smart contract updates the metadata, the NFT, and all of a sudden you have an upgraded character, or you have a new addition to your NFT car, right? And so that's the whole point of Chainlink, and that's why this is important, because now combining the NFT updatability plus the infrastructure of the Oracle network, now you have NFTs dynamically changing based on, whatever's being submitted by this Oracle network and how the smart contract was designed. So it is very powerful. So the next step to the evolution of NFTs is just getting started. Dynamic NFTs is an NFT that can change based on external conditions. Changes to the NFT metadata are encoded in the smart contract that updates when predefined conditions are met. NFTs can be programmed in an infinite number of ways. For example, Tesla Model 3 from Elon Musk can be tokenized as a dynamic NFT with metadata. And so, of course, they talk about the NFT, dynamic NFT representation of your house. So you purchase it, no maintenance history on year one, and after 16 years, there's all these different updates to the house.
Yeah.
So this is another one of those that need like an infrastructure change. So, of course, if your house gets flooded, that's not a thing that you're going to volunteer to the NFT. So there needs to be some sort of external forces forcing this to be updated here. Retail stores can build robust, automatically executing loyalty rewards programs by leveraging Chainlink services with dNFTs. And blockchain gaming, something we know a little bit about. Projects can create dNFTs representing in-game characters that automatically update. Like when the player has logged in a specific amount of time played or achieved other player progression milestones.
Yeah, so this is why this hits home pretty close, because we already have essentially dynamic NFTs. We have through our game ecosystems and even the meta ecosystems itself. So this is like a whole thing you have to understand.
Yeah.
If I have enough time to elaborate on in this specific video, but
and the difference here is we've had dynamic NFTs since the beginning of our project, right?
Yeah, we always understood that static is the weakest form of content
of NFTs, the weakest form of NFTs.
Content in general. Yeah, like content has to evolve and progress in order for it to have like real utility in the long run. Like the metaverse especially, because it's a forever entity. So the assets themselves have to have forever trackability to them, like what's happened over the last 100 years to this content, like who has owned it, what has the owners done with it, and what value has accrued because of that ownership record. That's a lot. It's a big deal. And
so our dynamic NFTs have been tied to our own servers. So whenever let's say a Roby gets upgraded, right, it's all the metadata is all pointing to a location in our own servers. So what Chainlink provides is the fact that you don't have to trust any one server to have an updated NFT. And so this is where we think the Mania could exist.
Well, because doesn't the confidence or whatever comes in the the ecosystem of Chainlink itself, because it has built-in incentives for the actors to not provide fraudulent data to the
because
network.
if we're looking at this base NFT and we're trying to get a warrior, archer, magician, we can just change the parameters in our database, and all of a sudden you got your character.
Yeah.
And so with Chainlink, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because the Oracle has to come to a consensus as to what exactly happened, and whatever it is that happened will allow you to enable a warrior, archer, magician completely independently from a server.
Yeah.
So another reason why it's important. Interested and want to learn more, build your first NFT or dynamic NFT using this article here.
Masterclass, automation masterclass, dude. That sounds pretty cool.
So, so this is just a more in-depth breakdown as to all of that. So we have some examples. LaMelo Ball NFT, basically, if he won the rookie,
cool.
The rookie award for 2021, this 3D model will change.
Yeah, that's sick.
And he did. I think LaMelo won Rookie of the Year. Regenerative resources, short film NFTs, how Chainlink supports dynamic NFTs, basically what we described earlier, and Chainlink keepers. So in our case, this is what we'd leverage, Chainlink keepers. So when we're talking about our own project, Rovies, or MetaZone for that matter, we would set up a keepers network where our own community can contribute to the data submission via the Oracle network. And so through that, they would be incentivized through either our token or Chainlink token, and they would submit updates to our game so that when somebody upgrades their Rovie, it is independent from our servers.
Yeah.
And so now whoever is looking to get into the Rovie game, they'll know that these are true and not, subject to the whims of developers.
Yeah, I guess it brings up like the practical use cases, I guess, as far as like what is the scope of like Chainlink's capabilities? Like what kind of ecosystems of data can it actually support, or what the incentive model, like what is the community of I guess oracles like gravitate towards? Like you're talking about the oracles would probably only want to maintain a record of, something major like an NBA data feed or something like that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily some sort of startup game companies like, in-game activity. That's not like potentially not sustainable with like the Oracle ecosystem model.
Yeah, and that's why they have this. So combined with Chainlink and data feeds and any API, meaning APIs from MetaZone or Rovie or whatever independent game project out there, Chainlink keepers can enable the development of automated and engaging, for example, shopping rewards, dynamic NFT programs, eco-friendly behavioral tracking dNFTs, and much more. Yeah. So basically any logic that occurs that needs to be tracked independently, or if you want your project to be independent from servers where your community believes everything that's happening, right, you use keepers, Chainlink keepers, and then all of a sudden now you have an independent, verified, upgradable NFT.
Yeah, which I think is going to be very important because I think it is about establishing that trust, and everything that the Web3 cryptocurrency space is about is like not depending on, centralized banking authorities to kind of like keep records of people's monetary value in the financial systems. Like that's the whole point. We've kind of like we distributed that authority to basically anybody who wants to participate like in facilitating the Bitcoin network. So it's the same thing are going to be for, I think, everything that's on chain. So that includes NFTs. So at some point I'm pretty sure Chainlink has like the clout at this point to kind of, just dictate narratives and like market, technology trajectory. So most likely this is going to become a standardized like expectation from anybody who's purchasing an NFT, especially like a dynamic one in the future. They're going to expect like this type of integration and like this provable security, authenticity, all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
so
I totally agree.
I think that's what Chainlink's motivation is. Like they want to become that standard of, if anybody's trying to participate in the Web3 ecosystem and they're not using our oracles, you shouldn't be trusted. And that's perfectly fine, dude. More power to Chainlink. Yeah. It's why I'm super bullish on them. They've been doing a lot.
Yeah, and this is what they do, right? This is bringing off-chain data to on-chain. That's their domain, and they're the biggest ones doing it. So, the the bigger fish in the pond, they set the nomenclature standard. It's
So
dynamic NFTs.
dNFT, everyone keep track of that. Lowercase d, don't get that mistaken.
Yeah.
Lowercase d, all caps NFT. So you could just use that hashtag on Twitter if you want to like stay up to date on which projects are going to like follow down this narrative pathway that Chainlink is kind of like, you know, rolling the red carpet out for. That's the way to keep track, you know, and then we'll see what emerges from that. Hopefully, potentially another mania similar to
NFT mania, right?
Yeah.
This is the evolutionary process, right?
Yeah.
We had static NFTs. Now we're going to have dynamic NFTs.
Yeah. And it's going to take a big, you know, basically a titans of the Web3 space to define what the next thing is, you know?
Yeah, this presents a huge opportunity for creators out there. Whoever can standardize this dynamic NFT implementation process, like create a blog, you know, do some videos around how to do it. Like that's going to facilitate the mania because it's not just trivial just to integrate Chainlink into your project.
It's true.
Right. So you have to set up your own Oracle network, incentivization program, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I totally agree. This is the next progression, and dNFTs it is.
Yep, and it's good to see, again, the value of a bear market because, this is the type of stuff that really it matters, right? This is the non-speculative stuff right now. This is like the fundamentals of the next Web3 movement or the next phase of the Web3 movement, so I'm glad we found one.
Yeah, right.
You know, add that to the record books, you know, like let's see 3, 4, 5 years from now if we're right, dude. Keep track of that. As soon as everybody's like, you know, going manic over dNFTs, just remember, dude.
Yeah.
We brought it to you first.
Exactly. All right. Well, let us know what you think about dynamic NFTs. Do you agree with Chainlink? Do you agree with everything that they're working on, the implementation process and everything? Let us know in the comment section below. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at MetaZone.io, and at RobyAI. We will catch you in the next video.
Peace.